Hello and welcome to another one of my videos about error coins. This time we're looking at a few of these. The 2005 bimetallic £2 coin. These were produced to commemorate the 400th anniversary of Guy Fawkes and the gunpowder plot. And as well as this nice reverse design, one of the unique features about these is the edge inscription, which reads, "Remember, remember the 5th of November." So let's take a quick look at what aren't mint errors on these. So some people have the mistaken belief that this edge inscription is upside down because it's not the right way up when you look at it from the Queen's side, but actually that's not really true. The way these are produced, there's basically a 50-50 chance of that being either way up. So that's a load of nonsense. You see eBay auctions where people are trying to sell these as fantastically rare mint errors because the edge inscription is upside down. Yeah, and that is just a load of nonsense really. However, there are a few coins where the edge inscription looks like it's got a spelling mistake on it. You'll see things like this where it seems to say, if we get that in focus, it looks like it says Pemember. See, so like the descender of the R appears to be missing. And that's simply because when the outer blanks have gone through the rimming process, which is when the edge lettering is added, part of the tooling has either worn or broken off, so the tail of the R disappears. Some people claim that, well, it's just the edge milling which makes it disappear, but that's not strictly true, and we'll come on to a brilliant example of that in a moment. But yeah, so the way these are made is the inner part is basically cupro nickel and the outer part is nickel brass, and the blanks for the inner part and the outer blanks are combined just before striking, and when the inner part goes through the rimming process, a small groove or a channel is added to the inside edge so that when they're struck together they fuse together nicely, and there's very little chance of being able to pop the middle out by hand or indeed by a hammer. The outer part, when that goes through the rimming process, it adds a bit of a flared edge to it, and then the edge lettering is added, and that's when some of these apparent typos can happen. But the milling, the little lines that you get there, they are not actually added until the time the coin is struck. When the coin is struck, a die presses down on both sides of the blank, which imparts this design. A retaining collar stops the coin from just squashing outwards, and that's actually where this edge milling, the little vertical lines, are added. Because the coin is not struck too excessively hard, the edge lettering on the outer blank remains like so. So let's look at an actual mint error then. So this one here, let's get it right way up, has what's called a partial collar error. And if you look at it closely from this side, you'll notice that the central blank seems to be slightly offset. If we look at it on this side, it's even more obvious. And in fact, the coin seems to be slightly wider than it should be. And indeed it is. When you compare this with other ones which are struck properly, this has a slightly wider diameter across it. Reason for that is because of this so-called partial collar error. So notice it's completely smooth where this lettering appears, and then as we go round we start to see some of the edge milling appearing. And this is a good example that demonstrates that, well, actually it's not the milling which is making the descender of the R disappear. It's actually the fact it was never there in the first place, as you can tell by the fact that there's no milling hiding the descender on that. That's actually on the smooth part. So yeah, basically as this coin was struck, the retaining collar was only around part of the coin, so you get this fantastic effect where it kind of bulges out, but because the edge lettering isn't imparted at the time of striking, it was already there in the first place, it's retained, so you get this nice smooth text around the coin. And indeed, if you compare it with the other ones, you can actually see it's visually obvious that it is slightly wider than the other coins because of that. Because the collar is a fixed size, but because part of the coin has basically bulged out during the striking process, it makes it slightly wider. So as a result, you may have difficulty spending these types of £2 coin in certain things like pool tables in pubs. So yeah, they're worth looking out for basically, because although these people collect these kind of coins and they may pay a few pounds extra premium for one that has a so-called per member typo on it, even though that's strictly speaking not really an error because it's so common. Whereas this kind of thing is much less common and probably worth possibly up to £20 or thereabouts. So yeah, it's well worth looking out for these in your change. You can basically increase the value of your money by a factor of 10. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video both informative and interesting. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I'd also love to see what you thought about it in the comments section. Don't forget to check out my other error coin videos if this sort of thing floats your boat, because I'll be producing a lot more in the future. Bye for now.